lesson 3 in the guided notes. Classify the triangles based off their angles and sides. I wanted you to give me the vocabulary word for each one of these triangles, and you can look for that on in your textbook pages. So for the first one, if it has all acute angles, what type of triangle is that? Yep, that would be an acute triangle. If it has one right angle, it would be what type of? Yep, a right triangle. One obtuse angle, obtuse triangle. So these three on the left-hand side are all about the angles in the triangle. On the right-hand side, they're about the side lengths. If there are no congruent sides, what would we call that? Scalene triangle. What about two congruent sides? So these little hash marks mean that those two sides are congruent. And if we have three congruent sides, it is a equilateral triangle. Today's lesson is on triangles, our target for today. Students will be able to classify triangles by their sides and angles and solve for missing angle values in triangles. Okay, so today's vocabulary word is triangle. A triangle is a figure with three sides and three angles. And the symbol for a triangle, we use a triangle. Every triangle has at least two acute angles. And you can classify the angles by the triangles by their third angle. So in the examples we did for bell work, every triangle has at least two acute angles, and the third angle tells you what type of triangle that would be. Another way to classify triangles is by their sides. And sides with the same length are congruent segments. In every triangle, the sum of the measures of the angles is 120 or 180 degrees. So in every single triangle, the measures add up to 180 degrees. Also, in every triangle, the sum of two side lengths will be greater than the third side length. The way I set that up to solve is I choose the two smaller side lengths and add them to see if it's greater than the third. Okay, so if we look at the first question, they want us to determine if this is a triangle and why or why not. So we have to make sure the side lengths, the two smaller side lengths, are greater than the third, and we have to make sure that the angles add up to 180 degrees. So for A, what are my two smaller side lengths? 5 and 9, so I'm going to add 5 and 9. And I want to see if it is greater than 13. What is 5 plus 9? 14. Is 14 greater than 13? Yeah, so we know if that part is true. The second thing we need to check is to make sure our angles add up to 180. So I'm going to add 40 plus 50 plus 70, and what do we get? When you add these three values? 160. So is this a triangle? No, and it wants us to explain why. So not a triangle because why? Yep, because the angles do not add up to 180. Okay, so I will let you try the next few on your own.